Right, everybody, it's been a little while, so why don't we do a pickups video and talk about things I've picked up in the last couple of months. I'm sorry it's not been monthly, but let's just jump into it because I've got quite a lot to go through. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it. I did say I would keep doing these, so here's another pickups video. Means we've got Commodore Corner behind us. Let's just crack on and show some Commodore pickups of recent times. So actually, the first bit I've got to show you is from the swap shop. Shout out to Chef at the swap shop. Blah, blah, get my words through. The guy on there, PS2 Mini Games, was one of the people on the show last Sunday, and he showed a whole load of Amiga games, and I just grabbed them all. I just said to him, let's have a chat, let's work out a price, which he did, and he did a cracking price on them for me. So I picked up a whole bunch of Amiga games that I didn't currently own in one way or another. So the first up was Robocop 2. So these are all your 3¼ inch discs. Haven't been through and tested them all. We know the situation with Amiga discs. They can be a bit hit and miss, but these all look to have been kept in great condition. So I'm quite hopeful that most of these will work. But yeah, Robocop 2 on the Amiga. We also got the Interceptor. So this is looking like one of your classic kind of early 3D flight simulator games, combat fighters. I'm trying to remember, there's definitely some of the F-19 games I played back in the day. I don't know if Interceptor's one I've played. I'm trying to remember. It'd be one of those ones there's probably a myriad of keyboard controls you need to be aware of. This is a classic. I don't know anyone who hasn't played in New Zealand Story, but yeah, this is a fantastic little platforming game. I own it on a bunch of other systems, but I don't have a disc copy for the Amiga. And it is a great little platformer on the Amiga. If you've not played it, I highly recommend checking it out. But yeah, New Zealand Story. Next up, Starfighter. Again, one that I don't recognise, so interesting to give it a go. There wasn't much in the box with this one. It literally is just the disc inside. The box has been a little bit sat on, but you can straighten these things out. Yeah, it looks to be almost like a space exploration game, maybe in the sort of realms of Elite and others. You know, 270 star systems, 800 planets, 7 different races, and so on. So yeah, might be worth checking out. This is a great. I love this look. I love the look of this box. This was probably the one that I was most excited about picking up, just because it looks so great. It's called Demons and Drivers, and there you can see there. So you can quite clearly see it's Turbo Outrun and Ghouls and Ghosts. What a cracking little box. 2 cracking games on the Amiga. And it come with, you know, just instructions in there and your discs. They all look great, but I really like that kind of compilation. This is what I loved about both the Commodore 64 and the Amiga, and of course the other micros as well. But when you get compilation boxes, you're normally pretty happy with what you got in there. Next up, maybe not quite the same level, because like one of these games we all know is atrocious. But this is another dual game, and it is this time Pit Fighter and Space Invaders. So of course Space Invaders is Space Invaders, and on the Amiga it's quite a nice looking version of Space Invaders. I don't know if you can tell there, but you've got some nicer looking graphics. But Pit Fighter, bless it, it was okay in the arcade, but certainly on most of the home computers it was pretty terrible. I mean, I think I'm being generous when I say it's okay in the arcade. I think it's a terrible game compared to what other fighters are out there. Next up, we've got Eliminator by Hewson. And this looks to be another sort of shoot 'em up, I guess. I actually might be interested in this one. I don't remember it at all, but it's got one of the things I really love in video games is gravity effects. So a bit like Thrust and those types of games, where you're trying to maneuver your ship around areas and trying to get to whatever it is to complete the level. So this does have that. You can see on the back there, you'd have to freeze frame it, but yeah, it has all of those things. So I'm definitely going to check this one out, because I'm just a sucker for games that mess with gravity and you have to sort of fight your way through to get to the end. Next up, a big one. This is Epic. So we were talking about big space games earlier. Well, Epic is certainly one of those. So another big exploration, combat, trading, all sorts going on in this game. I don't know if there's, I think it says there's a poster, but I don't think I've got the poster. I've just got a fairly weighty manual. You know, you get a big old thick manual in these things, which hasn't turned into a brick through moisture or anything. The box could need a little bit of TLC, but otherwise very, very happy with that. And then the last couple were Batman. So this is all one haul. This was all from one deal on Swap Shop. So we've got Batman, of course. Nothing to be said about that. It's Batman. I love these little boxes. Again, this one unfortunately has got a few tears in it, but it's still great. I love these little boxes. And this one, which I thought when I first saw it was a video game, and it's not actually a video game. It's called Virus Killer, which when you look at the front there, you tell me that doesn't look like a video game. This is actually a proper utility disc. So this is for scanning your memory chips and your other discs for viruses back in the day. So yeah, I mean, wouldn't it be cool if all utility programs came looking like that? I think it would be very cool. But no, this is, as it says on the tin, it is a virus killer. It's for scanning your various programs, finding viruses, and hopefully getting shot of them. But yeah, I'll have to run it on my Amiga 600 and 1200 and see if I've got any viruses. But they're virus killer, not the video game, but a utility. And then last up, the only Commodore 64 pickup I think I've got this month, or the last couple of months, is actually a re-release, remaster of an original game by the same people, so Thalmus, and they have done a remaster of Hunter's Moon, which is like a top-down shooter exploration game. And yeah, they've re-released it. So I haven't had a chance to spend much time with it. It's a nice little game. When it's popped up, sometimes you have to jump on these things, because often, especially from Thalmus, they tend to come up and then disappear. So you're then talking eBay monies and so on and so forth. But loads of nice little bits here. I won't go into it too much because I'd like to do a dedicated video on it, but you've got a few stickers, you've got your manual, you've got some postcards and bits and pieces, and then you've got the actual cartridge. So unfortunately, not a disc game anymore. These are all going to come on a cartridge. Yeah, we've got the cartridge there. But anyway, I will want to do a proper dedicated video for this, just because I can show some gameplay and talk more about the game itself rather than just glossing over it, as I like to do with the homebrew. Well, it's not homebrew, is it? It's a re-release remaster of an original game. So very nicely presented, as you can see. These guys always do very nice things, and yeah, we'll do a proper video on this. Let's jump into some other bits. Okay, we've definitely had a busy month or couple of months in the hobby space, the tabletop wargaming space. Not only have James and I been playing a bunch of games since coming back from Adepticon, coming back from Salute, but we've been busy building and painting as well. So picked up some new models, but also maybe if people are interested in it, I've also been heavily 3D printing for the last 2 months, like lots of new miniatures for wargaming stuff. If you're interested in some of this stuff, I've been contemplating doing some 3D printing videos, the how-tos, the what's possibles, and all this sort of stuff. If you're interested, leave a comment below, and I'll definitely do one, because I'm well set up for it now. So first up, we've got Castilian Crow. He's one of the heroes for my Grey Knights army. I've been loving the Grey Knights, and this guy here got a very cool sword, and you know, he's a very powerful dude. This model here, these aren't, unfortunately, all the models are built and have already started to be painted. So actually in here is not much, it's the empty sprue. And even on this one, all I've got is the picture of him. So I also got, his name is Grandmaster Voldus, and he's turned out to be very, very cool. Very strong miniature, very strong hammer. He's been one-shotting tanks and all sorts of monsters. Very cool to add him into my little army. I then picked up another combat patrol. So I've already had this box before, but I am getting these dreadnoughts. And also these are just a great way to add unit like infantry and stuff to your army, because in most armies you need multiples of certain units. So for the combat patrol for Grey Knights, not only do you get a Dread Knight, of which you can end up running like 6 of these guys in your army, and they're very strong, very good. But it's got Terminators, it's got your strike squads in there, and you can often build them in different ways if you want to build Paladins or Interceptors or whatever. So, and you also get a Librarian, and you can run multiples of those in your army as well. So the combat patrols are really good to pick up. So I did pick up another one. Again, this is mostly old sprues because it's all built, and most of it's also painted as well. So I'll chuck in some shots if you're interested. So that was the Grey Knights. The Grey Knights are my favourite army at the moment. And they're going really well. I'm really happy with the results I'm getting with them. But I have got an awful lot of Necrons as well. And I wanted something special for the Necrons. I wanted a centerpiece. In most people's armies, you've got your infantry, you've got your sort of your range and your heroes and stuff, but it's nice to have a centerpiece in your army. So with the Necrons, the centerpiece that I picked up was the Silent King. And there we go. He's looking pretty awesome. So this Necron King sat on his throne with other Necrons around him. It's a big floaty thing. Now again, this is all built and being painted, so I can't really show you what's in the box, but it's plastic grey sprues, surprise. But I can show you some images of what he looks like when he's built and primed in silver. Now this is the army that I'm going to do something a little bit different with. I'm going to use neon paints with these guys to really make them sort of pop on the table. So the paint job's going to be quite simple, but it's going to involve maybe some pinks and some blues from a neon color. So maybe a bit sort of retro futuristic. I don't know what I'm going to call it, but yeah, I want to do something fun with these guys. So but it's cool to add a centerpiece model. It makes everyone get a bit scared when you're playing you, and they might spend all their time trying to kill your centerpiece model whilst all your other stuff is doing all the really bad things. But yeah, there's been, like I say, loads of 3D printing, so maybe I'll show some of the 3D printed stuff I've done recently, but that's been a really big part of sort of the hobby space, the wargaming space in the last couple of months. Now we've got some, I won't say random, but some console bits and pieces to show off. So I'll keep it simple. First, we picked up the cartridge only of Diddy Kong Racing. I hear better than Mario Kart on the Commodore 64, on the N64. I'm not going to pretend I'm not a massive N64 fan, but people talked about it a lot, and that's why I picked this up, so I can check it out. I've been loving Worms recently. If you've watched any of my live streams, especially when I do Amiga, most nights I end on Worms, and I just have such great fun with it. So I wanted to see what it was like on the Super Nintendo, because back in the day, I never had this on the Super Nintendo. For me, Worms has always been an Amiga game, and obviously nowadays a PC game, but the Amiga was where it was at for me with Worms. So I picked it up on the Super Nintendo just to see what it was like. Just interested to see how this plays, especially without a mouse. I'm not having very high expectations, but it seemed like a fun one to pick up just because of my love of Worms at the moment. And then my friend Alex U-Star Gamer, he's been playing a load of NES on his channel, and also just as a friend, like we talk all the time, and I'm really sort of loving his love of the NES, and actually sitting down and completing games. It's been super impressive. He like really does play them start to finish. So I picked up a couple of new ones just because I saw them out there. Actually, can't remember where I got this from. This is terrible. This could have been Swap Shop, but I don't think it was. So hopefully anyone who's watching this who knows I bought it from them, or whether I picked this up at, I don't know where I got them both. And there's no reason for why I got them. I just saw them, was like, I'm going to grab those. So it was Digger T-Rock, I think it is, which is actually not a bad little game. Plays quite well. So yeah, Digger T-Rock. And then Dream Master, which I think everyone was joking about being terrible or something, and I may have picked this up. But actually, I don't think it's actually that bad of a game. I think it's a nice little platformer. Yeah, I played it on a stream a few weeks ago when I did the NES stream, and enjoyed it. Of course, I've talked before about the two new things that have joined the Hobby Lodge, and that is a Laserdisc player and a Sharp Twin Famicom. So it's actually down there at the moment. So I had to pick up some games for that. Now, I don't believe I've shown these before, and in fact there's one in the Twin Famicom which I'm going to grab now. I actually forgot it was in there, so there's one of the games. I'll show you that in a sec. So we'll go through the Twin Famicom first. Now, I was very kindly lent games by Retro Chef and Owl's Arcade. So that was what I managed to do another live stream on when I was playing that. I had a whole bunch of games, but these are the ones I have now picked up for myself. Although there is one I need to remember isn't mine, and it is this one. So I'll show it, but it's not my game. Anyway, so I picked up, just going online, looking what was out there. I picked up Super Mario Brothers, just because, you know, it's a classic. I don't need it. I've obviously got it on the NES, but I was just looking for some cheap games to play. I picked up Goonies. This is actually really good. This is a really fun little game, Goonies. Puzzle platformer again, trying to avoid the Fratellis, saving the other children, and a nice little fun little game. We got, I'm gonna not remember the name of this, but it's Mitsumisi's Mysterious Castle or something like that it's called, and it is a top-down. You play as a ninja. You're trying to find it's Zelda as a ninja on the NES. Really fun little game. It was actually Retro Chef's favorite game, I believe, on the system. So he was like, you've got to get this. So of course I did. We've got that. This one I really liked. This is Mario F1 Race. So it's nothing complex. It's a top-down racing game, but you pick up power-ups as you go around. It's a real, I mean, I'm not going to say a precursor to Mario Kart, but you know, it's got some of those elements in it, and yeah, you're racing as F1 cars, and yeah, it's a fun little game. One that I've not tried yet, which is, just being honest, I haven't tried it yet, but it was Mario Golf. I have to show these. That's what I love about them. Like, I love the fact that these are plastic molded floppy disks, and by that what I mean is they've actually got Nintendo 3D embossed into the actual disc. I know my camera's jumping around trying to capture this, which is why I keep looking over there to see what it's doing. But I just think that's so cool. I think it's so cool that they machined something to actually make these discs, and they're just so cool. And loading games from discs, I'm a massive fan, obviously, of the Commodore 64 disc system and the big 5 1/4 inch discs for that. So this just, and the Amiga and all those things, so this just sings to me a bit. So yeah, got that. And then Kid Icarus, again, another classic. It felt like I should own this on the Famicom. So we've got that. And then we have Mario 2, and I can't remember the name of it in Japan, because it isn't actually Mario 2. It's a completely separate game, but the game is clearly Mario 2. So someone can correct me. I'm sure Chef's probably shouting it at the screen, but I'm having one of those momentary brain lapses where you forget what this is called. But this isn't mine. This is Chef's. But it was in the pile, so I thought I'd show you it. But yeah, thanks, Chef, for lending me that. I will at some point and someday in the future give it back to you. And the last game I got, which again was on Chef's recommendation and actually is really good. This is a great game, and that is Mighty Final Fight. So yeah, these are just carts only. I don't do boxes. I don't need the hassle of looking after Nintendo cardboard. But that is Mighty Final Fight, and that is wicked. This is a great little game. This plays really well. It does get a bit repetitive, but for an NES fighter, this could be the best. This could be the best for a side-scrolling fighter on the NES or Twin Famicom, but an NES as it were. So yeah, Mighty Final Fight. The other thing I did pick up, I'm having problems with my original NES, my actual, you know, lunchbox NES, and I am going to try and repair it. But I was thinking, surely if in the UK we buy adapters so we can play NTSC games and so on and so forth in our PAL consoles, surely in other countries they want to go back the other way. They want to play PAL games on their NTSC consoles. So I was having a look, and I managed to find on eBay one of these. So this is a 72 pin down to 60 pin, which normally we're after the other way. We're after a 60 pin to 72 pin to put in our NESs. So this allows me to play PAL games on my Famicom, so that whilst I try and repair my NES, I can still play this. And I may even just switch to the Famicom for all the time, because that way I have one console that does disc, cartridge for both NTSC and PAL regions. which I think is pretty cool. So yeah, this was like 11 quid off of eBay. Very, very simple, but you have to make sure you get the 72 pin down to 60 pin. You'll find the other way more. The most of the listings you'll find will be the 60 to 72 rather than the way you want it. So yeah, there you go, just a little thing. But let's crack on with some other bits. Okay, right, this next section, I'm going to try not to keep you for too long because there's quite a few. But as I said before, Twin Famicom and Laserdisc player is what's entered the Hobby Lodge in the last couple of months, kind of new things. And I'm really excited about both of them. So I've been out and I've picked up some Laserdisc films. So I won't waste too much time on these, but I'm trying to be fairly selective on my films, because what I don't want is, genuinely, I don't want hundreds and hundreds of Laserdiscs. I want films that are special or mean something. And I've already slipped in some areas and picked up maybe some films that aren't, but at the moment I'm just excited about the platform. Going forward, literally from this moment forward, it is about getting those films, and it will probably be those iconic high fantasy movies that I absolutely love, you know. So that's kind of where my thought will be going in the future. But for now, I just picked up a few films that were fantastic. So first up we picked up was The Crow. So again, and it's actually not in here, so you can see it's quite thin. That's because it's in the player right now, and it was playing. So yeah, The Crow, and also this isn't the type of movie I'd be picking up because this is just a single sleeve. This is not a special edition or anything like that. I'm really after what they call gatefolds, I've now learned, which is ones that open out and they've got lots of sort of content inside. And I'll show you one of those, for example, shortly. But another one I've picked up is Aliens 2. This is obviously the Japanese edition because I have a NTSC player. But this is one of those ones. I'll just show one. I'm not going to do this with every single one. I'll just show it with this one so you get an idea of the sort of thing I'm after. So when you get these, if you get what's called the gatefold, when you open them up, you get images and just really cool content inside, and there's something to look at. They are really quite awesome. You also get multiple discs. So this one's got 2 discs, and on the 4th side, so disc 2 side B, I guess you'd call it, normally there's like a bit of extra footage, a bit of a documentary or something like that. So yeah, just that's kind of what I'm going to go for, is real iconic movies, and then with the gatefold, something a bit extra, something a little bit different. Yeah, so things like, and again, I know I'm, like I said, I'm going to go high fantasy. That is where I'm going to go, but I just want to get some of those classic films. So Die Hard being another one, right? Fantastic movie. Watch it multiple times a year. I could watch it, and I have already watched this on Laserdisc. This is one of those movies there is no enough times to have seen it. You can just watch it again and again and again, and it just still stays brilliant. This is another one. This is one of those gatefolds. So this is Batman Returns. Reversible cover if you want to show either way. What can I say about this film? This is the first movie that I went to the cinema technically alone. You know, me and a few friends. I'd always been to the cinema with my parents back when I was younger. When this came out, I think I was 12. I'd have to check the dates to be exact. Was it 89? No, when did? Anyway, I think I might have even been a year too young to go in, because I think this was one of the first movies that had a 12 rating. I think back in the day. Someone might have to check me on that facts, but I think it was. I think before then you only ever had PGs and 15s, and then this came out and it had a 12 rating. It may have been a 15. But anyway, this movie, not only is it brilliant, it's a brilliant movie anyway. It holds a special place in my heart because I remember going to Woolwich Cinema. Me and my friend, we got into some trouble on the way out of the cinema, so I remember that quite specifically. Yeah, it was like, oh, we're going to the cinema on our own. I feel quite grown up. I feel quite, this is quite special. So yeah, Batman Returns is a big deal for me. So I'm really glad to have that. Obviously, I just showed Die Hard 2. Not many people rate Die Hard 2. I like it. I like Die Hard 2. Not as much as Die Hard, but certainly for a sequel, I think it's a really good film. So I like Die Hard 2. Same with this one, actually. Most people like the original. I love the original. The original is definitely a film I want to pick up on Laserdisc. But Predator 2, I think, is also fantastic. Really, really like Predator 2. Danny Glover, I'm guessing because of the love of things like Lethal Weapon and stuff. But yeah, really, really like that. This is another classic. I Had to have this film when I saw it, The Rock. And most of these are super cheap. I'm talking always below 10 quid. You know, you can just put watches on eBay and they pop up all the time, especially the Japanese ones, and they have English language on them, so there's no real difference. Occasionally you might get subtitles, as in Japanese subtitles, but the actual track is in English. So yeah, The Rock, classic movie. Of course, Blue Thunder, classic movie. Again, front cover looks awesome. You could put these on your wall. This makes me laugh because it came up literally on the swap shop this week, and that is Tango and Cash. If you don't know Tango and Cash, this is probably one of my favorite. It is probably my favorite Stallone movie. And Kurt Russell as well. Like, I think it's brilliant. I love this movie. It's a proper buddy movie, and it's great. Don't watch it on Amazon Prime because they've cut scenes out of it. So get it on a platform you can trust. Yeah, really happy to have that on Laserdisc, because that is one of my favourites. Another Die Hard, I'll probably end up picking up. This is probably the last Die Hard movie I'd pick up, which is Die Hard with a Vengeance. After this, they kind of fall off for me. So, but Samuel Jackson, this is brilliant, and yeah, I really like the Die Hard series. And this was actually the first movie I got, so this wasn't, I wouldn't have probably picked this up. It's all right, but it's Judge Dredd from Stallone. Don't worry, we've only got a couple to go. And then this is a classic. Who doesn't love this movie? Please tell me if you don't. That'd be really strange. Total Recall. There we go. What can I say about that film? I could watch it right now and be quite happy just sitting there watching it. And then this one is, I think it is my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie. Obviously it's Robert Rodriguez as well, so it's kind of, they both did their bit, but it is From Dusk Till Dawn. I remember, yeah, the first time you see this movie, if you've never seen this movie, lucky you, because you get to, and hopefully this is the problem with day and age today, like you probably everyone knows the twist, everyone knows the quirkiness of the film, but when I first saw this, I had no idea. I genuinely had no idea the first time I watched this when I was young. So the flip in the film caught me massively off guard, and that's probably why I love it so much, because of that. So yeah, that is a collection of movies. Like I say, it is a bit all over the place. They're all iconic movies to me, but it's definitely going forward. It's going to be much more. That's the route I want to go in, the high fantasy stuff, the really like Clash of the Titans, those types of things, because that is where I absolutely love film. But who knows? There may be some others that I pick up just because they are of the era of iconic movies that I have. So yeah, that's my current new Laserdisc collection. Well, we got through it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope there was something in there you liked. Let me know what was your favorite of my new pickups for the last couple of months. Well, I'm going to try and be more on it, so maybe it won't be 2 months before my next one, but who knows? Maybe it's better to wait till you've got some good stuff to show, and hopefully I've shown some good stuff. But hey, give me your comments below. I'd love to hear from you, and thanks again for watching. All right, bye bye.